The Adventures of the Saint, starring Vincent Price. The Saint, based on characters created by Leslie Charteris and known to millions from books, magazines, and motion pictures. The Robin Hood of modern crime now comes transcribed to radio, starring Hollywood's brilliant and talented actor Vincent Price as the Saint.
Coming.
Mr. Templar.
Yes?
Let me in quickly.
All right.
My name is Claire Gordon.
Well, I can recommend that chair.
I don't have time, Mr. Templar. I want to confess.
Confess what?
Murder.
Well, maybe I'd better take the chair. You're quite serious?
Well, of course I am. Will anyone confess to murder merely as a joke?
It might depend on their sense of humor. However, whom did you murder?
My husband.
I see.
You don't believe me.
I've no reason to believe or disbelieve.
But I did kill him.
All right.
You ought to do something about it.
Mrs. Gordon, I can think of many reasons why a woman might want to kill her husband. In some instances, she actually does. But I can think of no reason why she should come to me and tell me about it.
Well, I had to confess to somebody.
You could have chosen the police.
Oh, they're so vulgar.
Murder is not a monopoly of the upper classes, nor is it in itself an especially refined activity.
You don't understand. Before I married Jim, I was Claire Wheelock.
Of the something or other Wheelocks, no doubt. Still,
I absolutely refuse to go to some poky, dirty little police station.
Oh, some of them are quite large, and I understand cleaned from time to time.
Tell some grubby little man all about my personal affairs.
Murder, according to the statutes, is a public affair.
I think you're nasty.
I'm only trying to be reasonable, after all.
I've heard you weren't always reasonable when beautiful women were concerned.
Oh, that's true only on Shrove Tuesday.
Oh, I despise you.
Hey, wait, maybe today is Shrove... Oh, no, it's Sunday. Hey, she could be coming back to make an appointment for Shrove Tuesday. No.
You're Simon Templar?
I'm afraid I am. You seem to object.
Why was my wife here?
Your what?
Wife. And don't try telling me you didn't know she was married, you low individual.
I think you'd better tell me about myself inside, huh? Now then, you are...
James Gordon. And my wife was just here.
How do you know?
I saw her leave. Are you going to try denying it?
Well, not if you saw her just leave.
Oh, that's good. Now, if you don't mind, I'll take my coat off.
You're warm?
I'm about to beat your brains out, you know.
Watch your language. And why do you think your wife was here?
Pretty obvious, isn't it?
I don't know. After all, I never met your wife before. Furthermore, Mr. Gordon, you're dead.
Are you being whimsical?
I'm only trying not to make a liar out of your wife.
She told you she was a widow?
More or less. Actually, she came here to confess.
Are you trying to pull my leg?
I've always thought that a highly overrated indoor sport, except, of course, in the right company.
She came here to confess to what?
To murdering you.
What?
Apparently her confession was premature. If, that is, you really are James Gordon.
Well, thanks for the premature. And of course I'm James Gordon. Who else would I be?
Shall I guess?
No. No, you can take a look at my wallet.
Oh, thank you. Driver's license. Blue Shield medical plan card, dated. Oddly enough, only a week ago.
Well, what's odd about that?
Apparently you don't expect to die. You are James Gordon.
Well, thank you. Now, would you like to tell me why my wife was here?
She came to confess to your murder.
You know, Mr. Templar, I think I'm beginning to believe you.
Fine. Keep working at it.
Claire is eccentric. If you say she told you she'd murder me, well, she must have told you.
She did?
But why? I'm not dead.
Therefore, she didn't murder you.
Then why did she make such an idiotic confession?
Wishful thinking, perhaps.
No, just a minute.
Or perhaps it was only anticipation. Oh, excuse me. Hello?
Mr. Templar.
Louis.
Louis. A half an hour ago you called for a cab. A half an hour ago I arrived. A half an hour ago I was still warm. I am now understudying an icicle.
Oh, Louis, I'm sorry. Come upstairs and thaw out. I've had company.
A blonde?
To start with.
What are you up to now?
Her husband.
I'll come up. I'll bring a large wrench, too.
That won't be necessary, Louis. Bye.
Mr. Templar, what you said just before, you mean perhaps she intends to murder me. But Why should she want to?
She came to confess, not to confide in me.
I'd better run along. Get hold of Claire and Well, I'm sorry I bothered you, Mr. Templar.
Oh, it's all right.
Thanks for your patience.
Forget it.
Goodbye.
Bye. Well, so much. That's right, Sergeant. Man named Gordon, shot to death on my doorstep. No, Sergeant, I never shoot anyone on my doorstep. It's untidy. I don't know. Look, Sergeant, I have an idea. Why not drop in and see for yourself, Sergeant was quick. Come in.
Hi, Mr. Templar.
Oh, Louis, I forgot you were coming up. You warmer?
Yeah, a little bit, thanks. Friend of yours?
Who?
The gentleman who's laying down dead outside your door.
No, we'd barely met.
Oh, well, that's nice. You ready to leave now?
I'm afraid not. I have to wait for the police.
That's too bad. You know, the guy might be a conservative dresser, but I don't think he does credit to your doorstep.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. His name is James Gordon of the, Gordon.
Oh, well, that's different, yeah. Did he kill himself, or did somebody help him?
I don't think he killed himself, Louis.
Why?
Well, he'd just taken out a Blue Shield card.
Oh, planning for the future, huh?
Yes, it also means he expected to have a future. Louis, while we're waiting, will you look up James Gordon in the phone book?
Okay. But I could tell you now he won't answer the phone.
I want his address.
But he's moving. It's going to be the morgue.
But his wife will still be there.
Oh. Oh, here it is. 12 Seven Oaks Drive. Yeah, it's a very high-class neighborhood.
A very high-class wife.
Maybe I ought to run home and put on my white tie.
Don't be silly, Louis. Under the circumstances, the tie should very definitely be black.
You know, those cops were very nice.
So they were.
In spite of what you asked them.
What do you mean?
You asked them if somebody confessed to murdering James Gordon.
So I did.
Yeah, so don't you think it's a little early for a confession?
Louis, you don't understand. You see, in this particular case, the confession was made before the murder.
Oh, well, that explains That explains nothing.
Louis, Mrs. Gordon visited me just before Mr. Gordon did.
Uh-huh.
No.
No?
No. What she did do was confess to murdering her husband.
Yeah, but he was still alive.
That's right.
Maybe she's got clairvoyance or something. Oh, 12 Seven Oaks Drive, Mr. Templar.
Good.
Yeah. Should I wait?
You'd better come with me.
Okay. Except but why?
Well, I have a feeling I'll need a witness.
Oh, so you really don't know Mrs. Gordon very well.
Well, if her confession was true, I don't want to know her at all.
But it couldn't have been, huh? Except maybe it was, huh?
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
Sure. And that's a way nobody understands, too, me included.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Boy, is he half wrong.
Good evening. We should like to see Mrs. Gordon.
Come in, please. Whom shall I say is calling?
Who?
I beg your pardon.
Who shall I say is calling? Better grammar.
Listen, Bud, for what I dragged down here, whom is good enough.
Oh? Oh, the Gordons don't pay well?
If you are referring to recent history, the Gordons don't pay, period.
Oh, they're having financial difficulties, huh?
No, they ain't having no difficulties on account they ain't got no finances.
Explains the hospital plan, and you'd better slip your English accent on and announce us. I'm Simon Templar. This is Louis.
Yeah, hi.
Very good.
Since when is Brooklyn growing butlers?
Louis, the Gordons have been in trouble.
Mr. Gordon ain't. Not anymore. About Mrs. Gordon.
Mrs. Gordon will see you. This way.
Oh, thank you.
Not only will she see you, but you'll see her. Looking at it objective, you're getting the break. She is quite a dish.
Sir, you are speaking of the woman Mr. Gordon loves.
Who says? That's the door. She's on the other side.
Hey. You might open it for us.
What's the matter? You broke an arm or something?
If he ain't careful, they're going to send him back to Brooklyn.
Mrs. Gordon?
Yes?
Of course, it's been a little while since we last met, but...
Since we've what?
Met.
We haven't met.
We haven't...
If we had, surely I'd remember, Mr. Templar, I believe my butler said.
We met at my home within the last hour.
Well, I'm sure you have a very charming home, but I was never in it.
Well, I may be able to refresh your memory if you'll be patient with me. You came in order to confess
Confess? What?
the murder of your husband.
Mr. Templar, if this is some kind of joke,
I'm not joking.
then it's not in the best of taste. Aside from everything else, my husband happens to be alive and in splendid health. So you see, I couldn't very well have confessed to any such silly thing.
Mrs. Gordon.
Yes?
Your husband's health is no longer what it used to be. He's dead.
Dead? Jim?
Yes, Mrs. Gordon.
Oh, no. No.
Mr. Templar, she's going to faint.
Let her.
She did faint. Mr. Templar, King Arthur would never have let you sit down at his round table.
I couldn't afford to be chivalrous, Louis. I had to make sure her faint was genuine.
Oh, you thought you might be putting on an act?
Yes. However, from the way she fell...
It wasn't no act, huh?
No.
Could that mean that the rest of her story about never being in your apartment or confessing that that's also true?
Hardly.
Well, then maybe she's a twin.
No.
Oh, why not?
Too easy. Come on, help me put her on the couch.
Yeah. You think maybe she's just plain nuts?
Perhaps, and I quote a playwright of some insight, there's a method in her madness. Here she's coming, too. The butler can look after her. Come on along. Louis.
Okay.
Think you guys can find the front door?
Oh, yes, we brought our compass.
How was Mrs. Gordon?
She was fine. I don't think she's doing quite so well now. You might look in on her.
It'll be a pleasure. Good night.
Good night.
Well, that was a nice visit. Of course, our hostess happened to faint, but where are we going now? Maybe we could make somebody else faint. Huh?
No, your cab, first of all. And then...
Yeah?
we wait.
For what, Santa Claus? Mr. Templar, he was here recently.
Not Santa Claus, Louis. We're waiting for Mrs. Gordon to recover.
Oh, that's considerate of us.
Not really. It's nasty of us.
Oh, it is, huh? We're going to hate ourselves in the morning?
Well, that will depend on where Mrs. Gordon leads us tonight.
Well, she ain't in no hurry. We've been waiting 10 minutes already.
Now, give her time, Louis. She had to recover from a faint, make a phone call, dress for the street.
Yeah, maybe, but I get nervous.
You probably need a tonic. Had a call.
Yeah, it reminds me. I had a call up in the Bronx once.
Oh.
Sorry. A redhead comes out of the house 15 minutes after I start honking the horn. Has me drive her to Grand Central. I ask her why the delay. She says she was very busy murdering her husband, and I laugh like anything. But you know what?
She had murdered her husband.
That's the last time I'll tell you a story. I was supposed to say that.
I'm sorry. Hey, Louis.
Oh, yeah, down the block. Mrs. Gordon, huh?
Mrs. Gordon.
It's a nice car she got.
Yeah, give her a chance to get into it.
Oh, yeah, I always forget. Well, she's in now.
Yeah, wait a minute. Give her time, Louis. She has to straighten her hat, do her lips, put on her gloves, signal for a right turn, and then...
Yeah, and then pull away from the curb and then turn left.
Right. Come on, let's go, Louis.
All right. Hey, Mr. Templar. You think maybe she's leaving for parts unknown like that redhead?
I doubt it. It would amount to a second confession, and one that would be believed.
Yeah. For a woman who just fainted, she's driving plenty fast.
True. You see, Louis, no one dawdles in the shadow of the gallows.
Hey, she's pulling up in front of that park entrance.
And we'd better stop here.
Out, huh?
Out.
She's heading into the park. We follow her, huh?
Yes. Strange.
Maybe she's just a nature lover, Mr. Templar.
At this hour of the night?
Well, as the law says you gotta love nature only in the daytime.
It isn't love which brings her here. Careful, Louis. She's stopping.
Yeah. Near the lake. Hey, there was a guy waiting for her.
There's no way we can get any closer. She might spot us on the path.
How about getting in amongst the trees?
That's an idea.